remind him that he's a king. And a king means he was meant and created to create. He was created to solve problems. A man that's not solving problems is not in a good place. Hi, this is Bob Grant from Relationship Headquarters, and today we're going to talk about 5 reasons why he pulls away when you're emotionally available. Women tell me frequently that they don't understand. Why is it that he closes off or shuts down, especially when I'm trying to open up to him, and especially when I'm doing a good job. I'm doing what people told me to do. I'm leaning back. I'm being sensitive. I'm being attuned to what he wants. And yet he still pulls away. I don't understand what's going on. Well, there may be other reasons. Let's get into some of them. But one of the things is that women don't understand that a lot of times men interpret, through their nervous system, interprets closeness as a threat. So when someone gets close to me as a man, depending on who it is, the first thing that comes to mind is almost instinctual, is if they're close, they could hurt me. This gets into sports. This gets into physical activities, especially gets into if someone's bigger or stronger. And when someone comes closer, I don't have time to think. I just have to react. Men also make that connection with emotional things too, because in the past, all of us, women included, have let someone get close. And when they got close, they hurt us. One of the things I've told women frequently when they're not sure if a man likes them, they're not sure. And they tell me, though, that there's been a time of real closeness. And then obviously he shuts down. And I tell them, based on what they're saying to me, I said, remember, it's not the woman, the mistress, the prostitute. It's not that person that can really hurt him, because that woman, there's a built-in buffer. She's only going to get so close. It's the woman he loves. That's the one that can hurt him. That's the one that gets close enough for him to trust, for his guard to go down. And then if it does, and she betrays him or she does something that injures him, that's the ultimate jolt to his nervous system. And whenever that gets fired up like that, your nervous system, especially men's, it remembers that. And it has a built-in thing that says, be careful, someone's getting close. So some of them remember closeness, as much as men like it at times, it's also unnerving as well too. So just keep that in mind, that just closeness in general for men doesn't mean what it does to women. Well, we usually have to get there. Sometimes it takes us longer to warm up. Second reason is he hasn't learned to receive without feeling indebted. Closely related to number 1 is that he has had an experience or experiences. This may be growing up. This may be with mom. This may be with other women. It may be even with siblings, where whenever someone got close to him, he let them close, it was attached with a meaning to it. I'm close to you, now therefore this is what I expect you to do for me. They may complain when you don't do something if you don't agree with them. They may shame, you were so affectionate in the beginning. What happened to you now? You used to give me things. You used to be, and he feels, oh, okay. If I'm not loved for who I am, I'm loved for what I do. I'm loved for the things that I give them. Well, if that's the case, then part of him is going to make that association. I guess not fair to you, and you very well may be paying for something that's happened to him in the past. But that association usually comes with a new relationship. It's that we all bring associations into it and past memories. And when we do, this new relationship gives us a chance to uncouple or unbuckle those past memories. So if that happens, it's not surprising that he would make that association, and we actually want that. I want his fears to get stirred up with you so that he can see you're not like the people he's dated in the past. You're not going to do the same thing or act the same way. All right, reason number 3. Your availability confronts his inner unavailability. So one of the fun things to do about relationships is to daydream about them, to imagine about them, how it's going to be. It's going to be fantastic. They're going to accept me for who I am. They're going to love me, and they're going to know when I'm in a bad mood to give me space, and they're going to know when I feel cuddly to want to cuddle with me. They're just going to read my mind. We all do it. Let's be honest. Men do this. We don't do it necessarily with the flair I think that sometimes women do, but we have these preconceived ideas. We think we're available because in our mind we are, but it's based on our mood. We're available when we're in the right mood, or he's available when everything's going well. When things aren't going well, he just assumes that she knows he needs his space. And he is not available nearly as much as he thinks he is. And with you being available, sometimes men will question, why am I not feeling the same degree of desire that she has? Why am I not feeling the same degree of empathy? Why am I not so fired up and jacked up to be with her? Some of it's because he's a man, but some of it maybe realize that he is guarded and he's learned to be detached. And you stirring this up within him makes him realize that something is off. Some men will just blame. They'll just say, it's you, you're doing too much, and you're too bubbly, you're too nice. I've actually heard things like that. But there are some men that actually realize, I'm kind of detached. I'm a little overwhelmed. I'm this is what I wanted. It's not you, it's me. And they really mean it. It's not you, it's me. And so as long as he has some insight about this, some awareness, we can cut him some slack. What I'm leery about is if he wants to blame you. Why are you always, so silly? Why don't you take anything serious, when you're just being playful? Pay attention to those. So if he's aware of this and he reacts hostile, okay, that's a red flag. If he's aware of this and owns up to it to some degree, he's not going to talk to you about like a woman would do, like really in depth, but just make some awareness or some gesture, some thing that he's saying that he understands what's going on. Okay, let's give him a chance. Let's be a little patient with him because he'll get there usually. All right, reason number 4. Men need emotional safety too, but they rarely know how to ask for it. Anyone that's listened to me for a while knows that I say this. Emotional safety to men is what physical safety is to women. Emotional safety is the thing we're most needing and afraid of. Some of this we bring on ourselves that we don't tell other men, especially, I need a hug. Can you just sit here with me? That would be weird. We don't tell that to women either. I mean, maybe occasionally, but even that feels kind of weird to say that. Probably it's because of the word need. That that gives a connotation of being weak. But we do crave that. We don't need it a lot because remember, our core fear is that we're not enough. And every now and then, we have to wrestle with that. Sometimes a man, especially a man that's, got his life and he's focused on God, he's got a provision, and he thinks, oh, I should have everything in place. No, sometimes he has to go to God and be reminded of just, no, I'm here for a purpose. I'm not supposed to have all the answers. Part of the struggle is part of the journey. See, he knows this, but what he doesn't know is how to ask. And what I'm going to suggest to you is when you have those moments, we don't want to do simplistic answers. I'm not minimizing sovereignty in this. Of just, God's got you or you've got this. But we want to remind him that he's a king. And a king meaning he was meant and created to create. He was created to solve problems. A man that's not solving problems is not in a good place. I don't mean that he has to be constantly stressed all the time. But solving problems and creating and bringing things out, taking his thoughts and turning them into things, that's when a man's at his best. I don't care whether it's writing a book, building a fence, painting something, art, whatever the thing is. A man that's docile is a man that is restless. So rather than trying to fix his problem, let's don't do that. But part of the safety is when he is weak in that moment, or he's vulnerable, you first off, just what you like, you just listen. You listen without judgment. You listen without suggestions. From my version is what I've seen when I would work with women, and then at some point it might come out with a woman that she has been abused. And that usually wasn't the reason why they would come to see me, but they felt safe enough. And then as they were sharing about their past, and they would, go into the horrors of it, and I would just listen. I would pay attention. I would lean in, but I wouldn't pity them. I wouldn't say, oh, how awful, how terrible. It was terrible. But I'm there with them in the moment because I believe in them. They have survived this. They've overcome it. I don't need to regurgitate for them how awful it was. Now, terrible, they already know that. What they need to know is that I believe in them and their ability, that that's not who they are. That's just something that happened to them. This is what he wants from you, that you believe in his ability more so than you believe in his circumstances. And that when you react and respond this way, that makes him feel safe, that you're not judging him, that you're not projecting onto him what he fears about himself, that he's not enough. This will require some courage from you, but when you do it, this is one of the ways, one of the keys of owning a man's heart. Number 5, pullback isn't always rejection. It can be a sign that he's simply overwhelmed. This is the one I hear from women a lot, which is they both look the same. When he's quiet, when he's detached, it looks the same as when he's mad. And in fairness to you, it does look the same as when he's mad. But it's not the same, I realize. So for him, when he does this, one of the things I like you to ask is, instead of just saying, what's wrong? Are you mad at me? Don't make it accusatory. Go softer, pick a time, when you've got his undivided attention, don't ask him in the middle of the football game. And you say, what's wrong? You say this as a friend. You say this as a wife. You say this as a confidant. You say this as a team member. You're not accusing. He's your teammate. He's your king. You're his queen. What's wrong? And because of that, you know something's wrong. You don't know what. If he says nothing, you lean in with that. You wait, put your hand on his or something, again, soft. What's wrong? And you wait. I want him to hear and see your conviction. We're not accusing him. We're not saying that he's punishing you. It may feel that way. We're not saying that. But we want him to tell you, and we want him to know that you like to know that if he tells you, you're not going to jump in there and simply try to fix it. You're not going to take over. That's what he's afraid of, is that he doesn't know how to fix it, so he doesn't want to talk about it. Again, it's a chance for him to see that you trust his ability to solve the problem, that was his God-given birthright. That's what he's put here for. This is what he thrives at, is solving problems. We're not going to go into all that, but that's what you're going to be communicating with. All right, so those are 5 things, reasons why men pull away, especially when you're emotionally available. How you handle these, how you react to these often has the biggest impact on how quickly he comes back. Now, if you like this, be sure and hit the like button or subscribe to this as the podcast. And if you like this, leave a comment so I know, so I can make more of these for you. This is all about serving you and what's helpful for you. I want you to have a thriving relationship. I want the man in your life, or future man, to benefit from this. It's not just for you I'm talking to, it's for his benefit too. So if you enjoyed this, also join us at Relationship Headquarters. We have a free gift for you, What Men Find Irresistible. I would love to hear from you and look forward to talking to you next time.